So everybody got that? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
It does not matter if the parent is still alive and still a pain in the ass in their life.
I love you bringing this up. No, because see, and this is where you get to do some, cool hypnotic language with the person. That will create a little bit of confusion that actually will help them usually access the states better. So you say, look, so there's a lot of ways you can set this up. I said a little bit about this the other day. Like the person goes, it's all because my mom was, and then I'll go, if I'm working face to face, in the old days, I look around the room and I go, I don't know if I'm missing something, but I don't see your mom here. What's that? And usually they go, oh, because I'm just trying to get them to realize it's backed up inside of them. And then they would go, so I go, like, am I getting through here? Yeah. Do you understand that we're not really talking about your real mother. We're talking about the part of you inside that's your mother. But then when you do the process, this is where it gets to be fun. You say the part of you, that's your mother out there. The part of you, it's scope ambiguity. The part of you, that's your mother out there. Because you do want it to get blurry then.
Okay.
Once you get into the process, you do want it to get blurry. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Get the idea?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's a little piece, that I've learned over the years that I always start. I've always used that little phrase, and that's in the setup. What's that?
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's the part of you that's your mother out there, or the part of you that's your father out there. And then you can even say, I'm not saying the real person out in the real world. I'm saying the part of you that's your mother out there. Get the idea? I remember a couple times I work with people and they go, I'm so confused. That's right, you are confused. But how's your body feeling now? See, then you just go right into that anyway. It's fine. Okay? So now, if you look at... Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I didn't tell you. That's right. I didn't tell you guys that we're doing a whole regression therapy module here for certification. Yes. No extra cost. Yeah, regression certification. Some people go for regression therapy for like a 10-day training for regression therapy. Would you like to get the same benefits? This is a special bonus, special module, right? No, it's true. It's really true. Okay? Because everybody's like, there's, regression therapy. It's like you got to be really very precise, and you have to really, there's all these regression techniques that you have to be able to do, and it takes 10 days to learn them so that you can be certifiable, okay? Right? Okay, so let's just do a little, so would you like to know the Overdurfian regression therapy certification?
Yes.
Okay, it's not even a weekend, it's not even a day, it's not even an hour. You be certified in under 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Too long, man. I can't.
It's like, come on, man. Come on. Can you get it down to a minute, please? I probably could. So you're sitting here right now, okay? And we'll make this one really simple. And most of you, almost everybody, has at least a bit of a smile on your face, right? So as you have a smile on your face, if you were just going to, and I could really dress this up, but I'm not going to. I could say, and if you could allow your unconscious mind to transport you all the way back. I don't have to do any of that. I can just say, as you have a smile on your face right now, right? Nice smile on your face. As you have a smile on your face, I want you to just let your mind take you to a time when you had a smile on your face a long, long time ago that you haven't thought about for a while. And then once you have that, just look back up here at me. Okay, almost, I'd say 3/4 of the room found it within the span of time that it took me to almost finish the sentence. Okay, so the idea here is this. You don't really need to be doing a whole lot because this is just gliding on the natural tendencies of your nervous system. We tend to bind memories by emotion in our right hemisphere. So, and this was just, I wasn't using an emotion, I was just saying smile on your face. You know, we could have picked an emotion too, you know, so that's kind of like a real, like, right brain way of doing it. It's what some people call an affective bridge, just a fancy name. We used to call it a kinesthetic backtrack in the old days. This is the standard one that Erickson used to use. One of his favorite things he used to do is he'd go, you know, it's really wonderful to be pleasantly surprised. And he goes, and I'd like in a moment, this would be one of his initial kind of trance inductions to create convincers for people. And he goes, I'd like you, you know, and he'd talk about like nice things and things like that. And then he would say, to get him in a very nice kind of mood, and then he would say, I'd like you to think of a memory from a long time ago that you haven't thought about for a really long time. And, you know, like, let's see, I just got one. I'm in kindergarten, there's the cubby boxes there where we put our coats, and there's this girl named Peggy Good, and I'm in love with her, okay? That's what just came into my mind. That's the first thing that came into my mind, right? So, I mean, and I haven't thought of that memory probably for, I mean, I have thought about it in my adult life, but I probably haven't thought about it for probably 20 years. Okay? So it's just a matter of getting yourself in the state, and your mind is going to index, your brain's going to index that state as per whatever the feeling is that you have, right? So, because all memories are state bound. Okay? So there's that. Okay? But you can do other kinds of backtracks. Let's just call this a classroom, even though I know it's a little unconventional. Let's say this is a classroom. So then you can use a contextual backtrack. You can say, as you're sitting here in a classroom, I want your mind to go ahead and take you back to a time, long, long time ago you haven't thought about for a while, when you were in a classroom. And just look back up here at me when you found one. Okay? I'm sorry, Clay. This is taking longer than I wanted. But, okay? You can do a self-talk, an AD backtrack. Okay, so you can do a backtrack on a trigger. I use that a lot. Person's like got a trigger, like somebody's. I want to do a positive one, maybe where somebody kind of looks at you in a really nice kind of way, you know. And then to think about, you know, somebody really looking at you like they're kind of really digging you, and then kind of letting your mind go back to a time when you felt like somebody's looking at you and they were really digging you. Just a different kind of backtrack. Okay. There's all different kinds of backtracks, see? And if one doesn't work, you just go to another one. I mean, you can do it on anything. You could do it on the sounds in a room, okay? When's the last time you were in a room that had an overhead fan? Those will be a little bit more, it might take a little bit longer, but you get the idea. You know, if I say, you know, we did the classroom one, self-talk, you know, like, you know, do you ever have like that feeling where you were just like, you know, like just go for it? You know, just you're just like in that feeling, like, just go for it. That kind of self-talk. Let your unconscious mind take you back to a time when you had that same kind of either self-talk or that feeling of just like go for it. And you went for it. Okay? That's all there is to this whole regression bit. Okay? Because we are gliding on the natural tendencies of the nervous system. So you don't have to set up a timeline metaphor. You don't have to set up, you know, a time machine. You don't have to do, you know, I mean, there's lots of fun things to do. I used to do them all the time. You know, Virginia Satir had one where you go to the, you know, it's like this big guided fantasy thing where first you go to, you know, you're walking through a forest, and then you come to the forest and there's a clearing in the forest. And then there's this huge building and you're not sure what it is. And you walk in and you realize it's a library, and it's filled with these gorgeous, like, big leather books that are bound with golden writing on the spine of the books. And you don't know why, but you feel drawn to just go through each of the corridors. And you go through the alphabet, because they're all alphabetized. And you realize that every book is actually the name of a person. And so now you get really curious because you're going to go find your book, you know, and then you pick that book up and it's heavy and it's substantial, and you open the book up and it's page 1. And what's on page 1? And then you start to page through it and you find, you know, and then you do, and then the one I always used to like to do, and that one is like, and you start to page all the way, if you go all the way to the back, it's all blank pages. But then, if you just go back a little bit further, towards the front of the book, eventually there's a point where you know what page you find? You find the page where you see the hand that's writing your reality right now. So I used to do that as a group induction, you know, that kind of thing. See, you can do a whole thing like that if you feel like it. You know, if you're charging by the hour and you got a 2-hour session and you know you can do it in a half an hour, by all means, flower it up, you know, if that's what you want to do, you know. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You know, you can just use what we know that our left hemisphere time marks things. Our left hemisphere is going to pay attention to context to some degree, more abstract concepts. Your right hemisphere is going to pay attention to concrete kinds of contexts, and it's going to pay attention to like sensory stuff. So you can use any of those to help a person find a time. Got that? So that's the first part. So you're all certifiable now.
Great.
You know, just so you know. Yes, I was going to say, right. Yes, I was waiting for somebody to say, yeah, well, John, tell me something I didn't know. Okay.